Crazy Town Podcast. I'm Jonas.
And I'm TNT now. I might the explosive one. Let's crack into another one, huh?
TNT.
Yo.
How do you feel about the show To Catch a Predator?
How do I feel about it? Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Does good things to keep the riffraff off of the streets. And I mean the stupid riffraffs. Yeah, okay, my biggest issue with To Catch a Predator is that you have to be a freaking moron. All right.
to actually make it to the show.
Yes, because I've watched a lot of To Catch a Predator. I've watched a lot of the individual guide, like the vigilante guys that go out and do it as well. Every single time they get a person, I'm like, this guy is an idiot, or he's like special needs or some shit, and I'm just like, I feel a little iffy.
It's like entrapment. Well,
it's not entrapment.
If you are a special needs CP'er. Do you feel bad for them, or I mean, they deserve the same thing anybody else is, right?
Yes, but I think that like the grade of PDF files that they're getting off of the streets ain't necessarily the most dangerous ones. You know what I'm saying? I'm think that the
ones who are running like PDF rings. They aren't getting them. They're getting the guy who's just like, I want to chat with someone. And you're like, yeah.
They're getting like the street dude, the local guy. I want the big fish.
Oh, you want the distributor.
Yeah, I like those stories.
So how do you feel about vigilante justice when it comes to Catch a Predator? Like people doing their own.
I mean, as long as they do the proper research, there's some that do it very well. There's some that are just like, I just want to hit this guy.
Well, let me tell you a story.
I don't like them.
I'll tell you a story.
Yeah.
Massachusetts, there's 6 people, college students, they're facing charges. So basically what they did, there was a guy who was an active duty military service member. He was in town for his grandmother's funeral, and he began communicating with a university student whose Tinder profile said she was 18 years old.
Okay.
So he's like, okay, this girl's 18. I'm going to try to meet her. So
nothing wrong with that.
Right, exactly. I mean, he's in the military, so he could be anywhere from 18 himself to 40.
It don't matter, man. She's on Tinder. She's 18. She's hitting me up. Let's go.
Well, right. So it says she invited him over.
Okay.
And then basically, let me get into it said the surveillance video shows the woman escorted him into a basement lounge. And then he ran upstairs, followed by a large group of students, up to 25 of them, including the woman with all of their cell phones out and what seems to be a recording of the whole episode. So basically, she took him into the basement. There was 25 people waiting for him. And they started calling him a pedophile, accusing him of wanting to have sex with 17-year-old girls. So they set him up to call him a pedophile when the girl that he was meeting was 18.
Okay.
So
maybe she said she was 17 in the text or something.
So
because I don't think they make that'd be a very bad clerical error.
So
if they're trying to set you up and they're like, oh, I actually made her 20.
Well, right, and then they chase him in, they punch him, his hand gets slammed in the car. Then after the assault, the woman who is 18. So she was 18.
That don't really matter.
Reported the man to police as a sexual predator and said she was frightened by him. He had come to campus uninvited. He was creepy, and she had texted a male friend who chased the guy away. So then she lied about whatever happens. They face kidnapping and conspiracy charges, and the woman is charged with witness intimidation.
Yeah.
100%. And then one of them actually was a juvenile. So if you're going to do a catch a predator scheme, why would you not use the actual juvenile?
No, look,
I mean,
man,
but say they're a juvenile. You have a juvenile. I don't know.
If you ever have seriously watched some of these, I went through a phase where I was watching a bunch of I don't want to say his name, but the Rosen guy. I don't really f with him anymore. I saw some ish on him with Twitter. He was just spitting a lot of racial slurs. I didn't really feel like that was a good look for him.
No,
but I will say is that the model that they use is the model that is the best for investigating these
things. Is that the
things.
one that you you showed me a little bit of one of them?
I did.
Where they're in a Walmart or something?
Yeah, so they will, obviously they use a decoy. Any imagery that they use is AI generated. they have a conversation with the individual for sometimes months prior to the catch so that they have enough evidence
to show his intent.
To show that he has intent. When they meet up, it's never in an aggressive manner. It's always voluntary, the information that is given up. That is the proper way to go about doing it. But a lot of people see some of these other content creators where they just want to punch a predator, predator punchers. You know what I'm saying?
It was like that old trend that was coming around like 10 years ago, where people just walk up and sucker punch somebody and record it. I'm like, that's the most insane thing I've ever seen.
A little different, because we are talking about people who intend to have sex with underage individuals. So yeah, if anybody deserves to get punched, it would be these individuals. I'm not saying as that's the case. I'm just saying is that you're looking at a lawsuit yourself if you go about doing that without like having, even if they are a
PDF, you can't just walk up and punch them in the face.
Exactly. So these people probably saw some of that and thought that they could get away with it because this person was culpable for some sort of crime. And like you're saying like, oh, but the profile says she was 18. It doesn't really matter. It's all in like the context of the conversation. He could have said something incriminating. It may have come across that he was looking for somebody of this nature.
Or he could have been like, you got any friends who are younger than you, or any, whatever.
But to kidnap a person and physically assault them, I don't care if they are. Let justice handle that if they are a disgusting human being.
Right.
If not, you're just looking at a lawsuit yourself. It's not even worth it to go through that type of shit.
Right. Yeah.
And like you said, they got charges brought up on them. That guy gets to walk home scot-free. And if he's out there causing harm to an underage individual, you have nobody to blame but yourself for handling it in the manner that you did. Now he gets to go free, and he's going to be on his P's and Q's in the future. Good job. You just got more kids hurt. You got an innocent man. It's either or.
I mean, I get these are like young, like barely 18-year-old kids, so they're dumb. They don't understand what's happening in life. Yeah. But like, I mean, it's America. It blows my mind that like you can like get a group of people, like a group, 25 of them together, and not one person is like, hey, that's probably a bad idea.
You need one Chucky Finster in the group, man.
Like,
you always need I don't think it's such a good idea, guys.
Yeah, like no one spoke up.
You do.
Like, they're like, oh my god, like just, hey guys, we should do. We want to all go see a movie.
Yeah.
Like, this is weird.
Yeah, and that's where, like I said, man, that's where I'm thinking, like, if there's one thing that we can always rally around in this country, right or left, black or white, it doesn't matter who you are, what your upbringing, is that pedos are disgusting, all right? Yeah. And I love that. I love that that is the sentiment in this country, because there's obviously
very few true bipartisan issues, and that is one of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of countries around this world where that aspect is not looked at as universally grotesque as it is here, and I think that's a good thing.
Or the age is a lot lower. They're all like, "Oh, yeah, kids is bad, but kids aren't 14," and you're like, "Excuse me?"
Yeah, yeah. But I do think is that a lot of times we let that, like, that echo chamber of rage just take over, and we forget a lot of times that these people do have a mental disorder, because obviously that's not the proper way that an adult should think, and that we need to not necessarily have sympathy for offenders, but have sympathy for people that are experiencing these feelings and want to change and have not offended.
Yeah.
Those people need to be
well, because like, just because people have intrusive thoughts doesn't mean they're a bad person. It's when they act on their intrusive thoughts. Like, sometimes people are like, "Oh, I should kill someone," but like, you don't go kill anybody. Like, having a thought isn't bad.
Yeah.
Like, but you should figure out a way that you don't act on those thoughts.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like when you stand outside my bedroom with a knife and you're like, I'm going to stab him and kill him in his sleep, and you don't. Like, that's great.
So the problem is, Jonas, is that when a person talks the way that I'm talking, I feel like a lot of times it can be like, "Oh, you're showing sympathy for these PDF files." I'm not showing sympathy. I believe that They should be brought up on charges as they need to be.
Right.
But I'm saying is that the problem is not getting them off the street. The problem is finding a cure. So if we could find a medication, if we could find a regime of medication that could cure this oppressive affliction, wouldn't that be more beneficial in the future instead of just being like, let's shoot every single one?
I mean, if you can cure anything, it's better than eradication.
That is all I'm saying.
Yeah,
that I think that if these people were allowed to come forward with less stigma, then maybe we could find something that could prevent it from happening in the future.
I think that you're right.
Okay.
You know,
Fair
I mean, I get you. I feel you. So
I do. But
anyways,
if you do something, if you touch the kid,
at that point,
straight to jail.
All gloves off.
Straight to jail.
Straight to
Let me get a punch in too. I'll take third punch.
Let me take third punch. So, all right. Well, anyways, that's all the time we have for today's episode. Go to thecrazynow.com and subscribe for Jonas.
TNT.
Oh, yeah.